Guys, did you know 2 out of 3 men experience hair loss by the time they're 35? Here's some advice. Do everything you can to keep your hair. Whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of the hair you have, our sponsor, Keeps, has you covered. Keeps is a subscription service that delivers clinically proven, research-backed treatments to stop hair loss and improve hair growth. With Keeps, you'll get doctor-recommended treatment plans delivered straight to your door at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. And most Keeps customers notice results within 6 months of starting treatment. Each treatment plan comes with a full year of unlimited messaging so you can connect with your prescribing doctor anytime. Remember, hair loss stops with Keeps. To get a special offer on Keeps treatment, go to keeps.com/Chael Sonnen or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/Chael Sonnen. Official prediction: Jack Hermansson versus Sean Strickland. Guys, I'm taking Strickland, but there's a real but. You just don't know how good Jack is. In all fairness, you really don't. And some of you go, "Oh, Chael, I do. He's great." And I've no. You don't. You really don't. Jack is better. If you saw Jack versus Jacare, okay, now I'll listen to you. But if you forgot that fight or you missed that fight, I'd have to resubmit Jack versus Kelvin Gastelum. But if you missed that fight or you don't really know what you're getting into here, Sean Strickland is coming as advertised. Sean has been great from the day I met him. When he was 21 years old, the first day I met him in the training room, he was 17-0. He told me that, and I thought he was lying. I didn't think at 21 years old, you can't get your first fight till you're 18. You got to be an adult to get a license. That means 17 fights in 3 years. I'd never heard of anybody that had that many matches, and I just thought I met a BS artist. I remember that crossed my mind. I worked out with him. He was awesome. And I remember telling our coach at the time, I went right up to Coach Parsons and I said, "That guy says he's 17-0. I don't believe it, but he's good enough to be 17-0. I then went home. I looked him up. Sure enough, he did 17 fights. He was like the sitting reigning king of the cage champion. He was fighting every chance that he got an opportunity to. He's an excellent fighter. He's just now getting his due. But I feel that you know that. I feel that you really know that. I have one piece of inside information to bring you. Sean Strickland came out, wanted to do a submission underground. Now, he was taking on Andy Varela, who's one of the best no-gi grapplers in the world today. On paper, this is going to be a massacre. Sean knew that, didn't care. Did not care. Wanted the workout, wanted the experience, wanted the focus on the ground because he knew he was about to sign a contract to fight Jack. So Sean has prepared for what he needs to prepare for. Jack is a pain in the ass on the ground. The other side of it is Sean did prepare. And he prepared the hard way, trial by fire, went and jumped in there in pure competition of grappling. So, if Sean knows that Jack is good enough on the ground that Sean needs to focus on that for a period of time, that's all you need to know, that Jack is a live dog. Very much so. And one thing that Jack will never do is come out and give himself credit. If you want to be a Jack Hermansson fan, and I am, you got to do it on your own because he's not going to do it for himself. I'll tell you another match. While Sean was over in the submission underground with Andy Varela, Jack was over on a wrestling mat against Khamzat Chimaev. It doesn't matter who won these matches. They both came in second. If you want the spoiler, it doesn't matter. Jack went into a wrestling match because he knew he had Sean and he wanted to work on his takedowns. Sean went into a grappling match because he knows he's taking on Jack. He wanted to work on his ground game. These guys respect each other. Athletes always know who's going to win before they go out there. They'll never tell you. They'll always lie. They're trying to convince the world, keep their fingers crossed. Luck does happen sometimes, 90+% of the time. Both athletes know as they're walking to the ring how this night's going to go. Both of these athletes also know how this is going to go. From Jack's standpoint, I need to take this guy down. From Strickland's standpoint, if I get down, I need to protect myself and get back up to my feet. This is very classic striker versus grappler. It really is. There was just a thing that came out. BJPen.com was talking about Sean Strickland, and it broke down his defensive pedigree. No one hits him. And they did a whole breakdown of how many minutes he's been in there, how many rounds, how many fights Sean's been in there. Put it and juxtapose that against the rest of the middleweight division. Sean is the #1 defense, means he's hit the least. And I can attest to that too. Again, go back to our training. He was hard to find. And I was used to elusive guys at that time. I fought Jon Jones, who's hard to fight. I fought Anderson Silva. These guys are just hard to fight. They move really well. Sean did that same thing, just hard to find. So now that the stat came out, became official, opens your eyes, lets you know, though, it is a little bit classic in terms of striker versus grappler as far as what their strengths are. But them both knowing what they're getting into, both preparing for it, both the hard way, which is going out and taking some lumps as a way to get better. This is the one they want. This is the one that matters. I'm going to take Sean Strickland in this fight. I think there's something to be said for momentum. Momentum is on Sean's side. There's something to be said for being hungry. Sean is living and eating and driving the same as he did before he was a main eventer on ESPN. I think there's something to be said for momentum for a guy. That's all I got. Momentum. That's it. That's my analysis. That's not a lot. You got a close fight on your hands here. You got a very close, gritty, and dirty fight that you're about to see. Because if you hear what I just said and you agree with me, but don't forget, none of us are make-believing that Jack can't take care of himself on his feet or that Sean can't take care of himself in the grappling department. You got a long, drawn-out war. And this is those fights where you have to start to look to the intangibles. Who can go harder longer? That's a problem, too. Sean is starting to be known for his condition. He doesn't care if it's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. It's all the same to him. That's very rare for an athlete. The athlete will greatly care. What is the duration? They will. LeBron James, if you go spring on him, he's got 5 quarters. You go, what the hell are you talking about? Or if you tell him he's got 3 quarters, whoa, you just rattled me. Sean doesn't care because his conditioning's so good, but Jack is not for time, too. This is an interesting fight, guys. This is going to be close. This is going to be a battle. They're both going to win, and they're both going to lose exchanges. They're both going to lose and win sequences. They're going to trade rounds back and forth. I do predict a long night. I happen to like a long night. We're going to see some good fighting. Ultimately, I'm putting the curse on Sean Strickland.